It is your boy T, the overly emotional movie reviewer, and I still cry every time I see Optimus Prime die in the Transformers the animated movie. I'm back with another Have You Seen That with T movie review, and on today's docket is Challengers. Challengers is Zendaya's feature film coming out party, and it is a doozy. Zendaya stars as Tashi Duncan, a rising star tennis player who meets best friends Art Donaldson and Patrick Zweig, played by Michael Face and Josh O'Connor, and they all enter a decade-long throuple. Tensions arise between the friends when Patrick, who is dating Tashi, gets dumped, and Art, who was in love with her from the first time he saw her, swoops in and marries her. Yep, messy. This movie is framed as a tennis match between the two friends turned bitter rivals, and we see all three of their stories play out in a series of flashbacks during this epic tennis match, with Zendaya sitting in the middle, figuratively and literally. The highlights of the movie starts and ends with the stellar cast. Everyone in this movie brings their A game. Zendaya puts on a performance for the ages. Her character is cold and calculating, yet extremely vulnerable and doing her best to hide that fact. Both Face and O'Connor are amazing and have the best chemistry together as best friends turned rivals. Their chemistry is a lot better with each other than with Zendaya individually, which I'll save for later as to why. Another major highlight is the direction and visual style of not only the movie but the tennis matches themselves. I feel like Michael B. Jordan took a swing at how to shoot boxing matches in Creed 3, and Luca Guadagnino shoots these tennis matches with an intensity casuals like myself never really associate with the sport. Over the course of the film, he raises the bar with how he's shooting the same tennis match, giving us different angles and points of view as these two play a seemingly meaningless final match in a local challenger tournament that to them is really their last shot at finding what they're really looking for. The main lowlight I had with the movie was the sound design and score. Every bit of the music choices and scores felt out of place with the scenes they were accompanying. It was really glaring and really loud. Some of the music drowned out the dialogue and completely took me out of some of the scenes. I was hoping the music would stop or lower at some point, but it didn't. It just kept going. Even if the tone of the scene changed, the music was just there and it was driving me crazy. Another lowlight to me was Zendaya's chemistry with the two leads, or with the other two leads. Midway through the movie, I realized these guys didn't act like they wanted Zendaya, they act like they wanted each other. Every time they spoke to each other, every time they looked at each other, it was like they were 1 second away from jumping each other's bones. And then there were the dicks. I'm an older gentleman, so I've lived through the 80s where every movie, no matter the genre, would find a way to throw TNA somewhere on the screen. Didn't matter if it was comedy, drama, horror, the director would sandwich some female nudity somewhere in there to either placate themselves while filming or keep us horny teenage kids or horny men watching. There was a shift somewhere in the early 2000s where they just started throwing men's ass in movies. It was always some shower scene or something, or somebody going to the bathroom where they had to show a man's ass as well as a female body. It just started happening. Now, even in erotic thrillers, they shy away from showing female nudity, but they are just constantly trying to throw male genitalia in everyone's face. I guess I get it, it's payback. I don't know. The movie marketed it as being some steamy movie, especially Zendaya being in some steamy movie, and a lot of men are going to the movie to potentially see Zendaya naked. Flat out, it is the truth. As steamy as this movie gets, it's really just a lot of kissing, a lot of heavy petting. There is no nudity except for these random dick scenes. They come out of nowhere. There's this locker room scene where dudes are just walking around and it's complete, like it just completely came out of nowhere. It was unnecessary and it's just payback, I guess, for all of the 80s movies. And I'm just gonna move away from that topic. So who is this movie for? It's anyone who loves tennis. The tennis action is beautiful and intense to watch. All three actors are fit for their roles, and if you're a Zendaya fan, you're gonna eat this up. You're gonna love this movie. If you love those twisty love-hate romance stories, you're gonna enjoy this as well. And if you love the win, you're gonna love this movie. This movie, for some reason, uses unrealistic heavy winds as like this aphrodisiac for Zendaya's character. Every time there's heavy winds, there's heavy petting going on, and I found it to be hilarious. And it was completely unrealistic. They're in these super small towns, and there was just tons of trash being blown everywhere around with these heavy winds. But I digress. I enjoyed the movie fair enough. The story kept me engaged, but I can't see myself really watching this movie more than once. I might watch it again just to give it a rewatch, just to make sure I'm not being overly critical. But to me, this is more of a streaming movie. This is not a huge movie that everyone has to run out to the theater and check out. At least in my opinion, it is a solid enough movie. Everyone gives great performances, but it's just not big box office to me. And since you made it to the end of the video, in the comments, go ahead and drop your favorite sports romance movie. For the Love of the Game starring Kevin Costner and Kelly Preston comes to mind when I think of sports romance movies. Similar premise, Kevin Costner's throwing a perfect game and he sees his life flash before his eyes through a series of flashbacks. Similar to Challengers, but at the same time completely tonally different. But have you seen Challengers? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you skipping it? Let me know in the comments right after you like, subscribe to the Have You Seen That with T YouTube channel. And go over to Letterboxd and follow me at Have You Seen That? And on that note, I'll check you later.